Good morning and welcome to Beyond the Contracts podcast. I'm your host, Maresa Morrow, along here with
Jennifer Hart of Churchill Mortgage, and you are with
Parks Realty out of Murfreesboro. This morning, we have Bobby Hopkins with us.
Yay.
We both have known Bobby for several years now. I think my first was with YMCA board back, I don't know how many years ago that was.
Both you guys.
That's true.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
yeah. And then Rotary First, maybe. But Bobby is here with us today. He has started a new travel company, and he's going to tell us all about it. But Bobby, give us a little bit of background first.
Yeah.
Tell us the venture that you started and just got out of, and why your decision to get into travel.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much. I have been in the wireless phone business since wireless phones were a thing. I sold the 8th wireless phone that was sold in the Nashville market.
Wow.
Working for a company called Circuit City back in the day.
I remember Circuit City.
We're all dating ourselves with that comment.
So I've worked in the phone business practically ever since then. I've never been able to just do one thing. I have, in the interim, gone to law school and become an attorney. I've done other things on the side, but I've always had my hand in the phone business. And most recently, I had a company called the Nora Group, and we were a Cricket authorized retailer, and just concluded the sale of that company yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have been working on it for probably 24 months.
Wow.
So this travel thing has been in the back of my mind for a long, long time. And so I've been getting ready to do this and was excited when it came time to make a change and find my career for the second half of my life.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I forgot you were an attorney. I had
And
heard
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's new.
I forgot all about that.
News to me.
It's interesting. So
I was just going to say that was a goal I set for myself a long, long time ago in college. And at some point I just decided to do it. I started law school when I was 40 years old. And my dad said,
good for you.
"No,
Yeah,
you'll
good
be."
for you.
I said, I'll be the same age as I'll be if I don't go.
well, that's exactly right. That is a very good way to think about those big goals that we have. Tell us what the name of the travel company is.
So I am an independent travel agent with a company called Travelmation. So that is a combination of the word travel and the word animation.
Okay. Do they have a specialty that they go into?
Well, the company as a whole probably they're a significant portion of their business is Disney business. It's arranging Disney trips, Disney cruises, Disney destinations, all the various brands that are under that Disney banner. But because Travelmation is an association of lots and lots and lots of travel agents, about 1,700, I think at last count. There are lots of different kinds of travel you can do, and they are able to teach us, able to have training. We're able to learn about destinations that we may never have been to. And so really everybody can specialize in what they want to specialize.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. I think travel is one of those careers and one of those organizations that you don't think about, like you think about a family vacation. But I know that there is corporate travel and, so many other things that fall under that umbrella. Is that something that you ever want to take on, or would that be something that you would refer out?
No, Travelmation actually has several tracks of certification that we can go, and I'm about 2/3 of the way through the groups track. So there are people who have done things like plan band trips for high school students, and we're in the position that we can plan the whole trip from beginning to end, including going along to help with the trip in lots of ways. There is a certification for luxury travel. So there's some amazing luxury brands that are really a different level, concierge level of service. And
I want that.
there you go. And so they have a track for that. And then our newest track, which is really exciting, is accessible travel. And so what that is helping us learn what resorts may accommodate a child with special needs. What
That's
resorts
awesome.
may
That's fantastic.
work
Yeah.
with mobility issues. And so we will go through that training, and then we're able to advertise ourselves as certified in that particular area. And so that's really exciting.
That when you're not in that, that's something you don't think about, but that is fantastic to know that that's available, especially for our business, where we try to be top of mind for someone. If they have a need for that, we would be able to, direct somebody to a referral partner. So that's fantastic.
And that's not even something I would have ever thought about, quite honestly. But it's so comforting to know that
right, exactly
that's offered, and you do that.
Right. Church groups came to mind when you were talking about the band and everything. And another thing that came to mind were senior trips.
Seniors. I thought about Fran.
Yeah. So, and I'm thinking high school seniors.
Oh,
now,
okay, different seniors.
Right. I know, my senior would be like, let's get in the car with a pair of shorts and hit the beach. But there are some people who would completely do a whole trip, so that's a great resource to have there as well. So I know we've got the holidays coming.
Yeah. And so a couple things that we talked about, we know we want to ask about. Let's touch on trends first. There are travel trends, am I wrong, places that people want to go, and so tell us about what we're seeing right now. I know most people, it seemed like after the pandemic, just wanted to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So what does that look like, or what's going on with trends?
It's interesting. I pulled some statistics to look at what had happened with travel as it began to recover. Air travel in 2023 is up 12% over pre-pandemic levels. So air travel has completely recovered and is up. Travel spending is up about 4% over pre-pandemic levels. So it has recovered. Hotel demand got back to pre-pandemic levels very, very fast. And when you start talking about trends, some of those trends are driven by people having some available money.
Right.
Pandemic, people staying at home, they just didn't spend money like they did.
Well, they couldn't.
They weren't going out. They couldn't travel. They couldn't eat out. Yeah.
And so there's a significant amount of that money that is driving travel decisions. Some of the trends that we see, about 78% of people in an American Express poll say that travel is an important budget item. So it's not even a luxury that they're looking at. It's part of their budget.
Right.
85% of people plan 2 or more trips in 2024. So it's not just when I was growing up, we had a family vacation in August, end of story. That was
That's
it.
Yeah.
And we went to visit relatives. that was the end of it. Yeah.
So yeah, about one of the quotes that I pulled from this article I read with American Express, it said pop culture is driving our booking decisions. And if you think about it, some of the things that are coming up next year, White Lotus, you all familiar with that TV show? The next season is set in Thailand. And so searches are already up for Thailand.
Wow.
Interesting.
Paris, 4th season of Emily in Paris, plus the Summer Olympics. So it's going to be hot. Europe was strong last year. Europe is going to be strong again. We can already see that in the searches and requests for quotes. So yeah.
That makes total sense. And I think that even goes along the, not just TV shows, but we get on Instagram or whatever social media platform, that TikTok or whatever, and it's all about that upscale lifestyle, and that includes the travel industry. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And
whether it's real or not.
And I know I have my travel bucket list, and I'm not so sure my husband will jump on that travel bucket list with me, but I'm like,
I'll go wherever.
Good. So, and Europe is on my list. Paris,
Italy.
Italy, London, for sure. I've never been there. Just lots of places like that.
Yeah, I mean, I always think back when I was a kid. I remember a group of older people from church. They had gone to Germany, and I still remember them talking about the buildings and the fascination. And I've never really thought about going there, but when I think about travel, that's up there. That's up there right under Italy. So for sure, people are.
One of the things that people don't think about when they have that kind of that dream destination is they don't always think about calling a travel consultant, a travel agent, a travel advisor.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. But a couple of things to remember: 99% of the time, you're not paying the travel agent anything. We're paid by the destinations.
Wow.
99% of the time. That's an approximation, but most of the time our prices are going to be exactly the same as you might go online, research and get your price. Occasionally it's not, and sometimes we can figure out whether we're looking at apples to apples, but a travel agent's great value. And if you think you want to go to Italy and you say, hey, Bobby, I want to go to Italy, and it comes up and I'm already seeing all the Black Friday deals that destinations are going to have, and you don't think of travel really being as something that you would go shop for on Black Friday, but everybody's getting on the bandwagon. And if I know that's where you want to go, then I've got a file of all the people that have told me this is what I'm interested in. And so sometimes you can get a really, really good value that way.
Right.
So for me, I don't know anything at all about traveling internationally. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I would use a travel agent.
It's invaluable.
Yes, because that person and safety is one of the things I consider with traveling. And that to me, and because I've never traveled, well, I've had very little international travel. Yeah. So for sure.
Well, and I think about not only safety, but what if we have a connecting flight or whatever, and there's a problem? I want to be able to call or text you and be like, help me. I don't know. But I think, I know me personally, I can't stand to get online and look around. I will pay somebody to do that because it drives me insane. Yeah. But to know that you don't necessarily charge the consumer, is there a time when you do charge the consumer?
I see when I read some of the groups of travel agents, I see people that do some concierge level stuff where they talk about providing a different level of service. Mm-hmm. I have got some plans. Probably this is tentative, but probably in 2024, I'm going to lead a trip to Iceland, and so I will take a group of people, probably no more than 30, and we'll go as a group, and I will get some benefits out of that, depending on how I search. But I'm never going to charge somebody without disclosing to them I'm charging you for this particular service.
Yeah. Right.
Most of the time, this is all going to be handled behind the scenes, and the consumer doesn't ever see it. So,
yeah, one of the things that I also think about in talking about trends, I know of two females in their 30s, 40s, somewhere around there. They both traveled internationally alone, and I'm thinking, wow, would I have ever done that?
I don't know if I would.
I don't think I would have. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if more and more females in particular, doing that. And I admire those women. Mm-hmm. But again, I would never do it. I would never just book the trip on my own. I would always use a travel agent.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the trends that, again, this is from some American Express research that was done, but solo travel is up. So lots more people than your couple of friends are doing that. Both men and women are traveling solo. We're finding lots of all-inclusive places that offer a single room. So cruises or all-inclusive resorts. They offer single mixers in some cases. I mean, they're really accommodating to that. And then one of the things that I also see is people who are travel advisors leading trips, bundling a lot of people together. When we were in Africa last year, there was one truck and it was all single females traveling, but they were put together in a group because they, the similarity, there was some commonality with them. And then they had the man who was leading the whole trip, kind of taking care of the nuts and bolts. So it was a really great way to travel. And there's lots of ways to do that safely. I wasn't going to go to Africa unless I felt really safe because it wasn't familiar,
Right,
didn't speak the language. There's lots of places that you want to think a little bit about what's safe.
Yes.
And a travel agent can help you with that too. I had somebody not long ago I was talking to about Costa Rica, and she said, I don't know where to stay that's safe. I said, you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to take care of that and, tell you what to watch out for. So,
yeah, that's so great. And you talk about Africa. I'm a big podcast person, and I listen to people talk about their travels to Africa too, in particular. And they talk about the spiritual experience that they had when they were there. And I'm like, wow. In my mind, I'd already crossed Africa off. I thought, I don't want to go there, not on my bucket list. But because after hearing those two particular individuals talk about it, I'm like, that would definitely be something. And maybe this is because I'm older. I would want to experience that, but it's just
all about the experiences.
Fascinating, fascinating. Right. So let's talk a little bit about holiday travel.
Right. What tips do you have to get somebody going if they haven't already booked their flight or hotel? Give us your top 3 to 5 tips.
Yeah. What do you recommend?
My top tip would be they should have started earlier.
Good one. Good place to start.
Yeah. Right. There are still travel values. I got an email yesterday from River Cruise in Europe trying to fill some last minute cabins. So there are still plenty of things that can be done. You just need to call a travel agent and say, here's the vibe I'm looking for. I want laid back. I want excited. I want a party. Here's the dates I'm looking for. And here's kind of my budget. And we can find a lot of things for you to go and do. There's still plenty of availability in Europe. We're getting awful close to that week after Christmas that people like to travel. So now's the time to get started.
Count me in on that.
Yeah. Yeah. My husband is always wanting to, he'll say, in years past, he's like, well, let's go, on a cruise or something for Christmas. And I said, no. I want to be home for Christmas, but after Christmas, okay, that'd be great.
So do you think next year, 2024, and I hear, when you hear about trends and what people are considering, it seems like this past 6 months I've heard more and more about 2024 being a great year to travel. I guess maybe they can get some deals on things. And so I'm thinking in terms of booking not just holiday, but are there ideal times to really focus in on planning those trips and booking the trips for 2024?
I think it kind of depends on what your destination is, right? So, you want to be thoughtful. You don't want to book a senior traveler who's looking for a laid back vibe into Panama City on spring break week, right? You don't want to do those kind of things. There are various cruise lines, and they all offer different amenities, and they all offer a different feel. And there's even different levels in those, on those cruise ships. So I would say the ideal time to travel is anytime you want to go, but having somebody that can be thoughtful and tell you what are you gonna experience? What am I gonna see there? One of the things that Expedia put out is they talked about people that wanted to travel to, for instance, Santorini in Greece. And kind of expensive, kind of difficult to get there. But they've got this whole list of places that you can go that are a whole lot like that at a better value. For instance, in Greece, it's Paros, Greece. And so that's the duplicate for Santorini. Perth, Australia is the duplicate for Sydney, Australia. So, those would be the kind of things.
That's valuable. Yeah.
Sure.
What's on your bucket list?
Well, let's see. My big bucket list has been Japan, and Japan is trending for 2024 already.
Interesting.
Leslie, my wife, has no desire particularly to go to Japan, but she never had a desire particularly to go to Africa either. And she thinks about and talks about that trip almost every day.
See, there you go.
That's
There you
fantastic.
go. I know somebody that he's been to Japan 3 or 4 times, hands down his favorite place to go. He's been to a lot of different places, hands down. He absolutely
It's
loves
so
it. He's
beautiful.
taken his wife there. I don't think they've yet taken their daughter, and he's traveled with other family members, but loves it.
That's beautiful. Bobby, tell us how we can get in touch with you. What's the quickest and easiest way to get you?
Well, the easiest way is to call me or text me. So you guys have got my number. You want me to give it out?
Sure.
615-533-2951.
Okay.
And so you can call or text me. I've got a page on Facebook that I can send people to follow.
Okay.
And I post things on there all the time about travel and destinations and ideas. And then my email address is bobbyhopkins@travelmation.net.
Okay. And we'll put all that down in our
Yeah.
show notes for our podcast.
Yes.
And then if anybody else wants to reach out and get those travel plans
And
made.
send us invitations to that Facebook page so we can
Yes,
make sure
please.
that we find it and get on there. But thank you so much. That has been some great, valuable information.
I've learned a lot,
I
actually.
have too. It kind of makes me, my wheels are turning
I know,
now.
mine are too.
So,
Ready to book.
yeah. Thank you so much, Bobby. We really appreciate it.